Previously on the last Pokemon Crystal Challenge run. He'll sell us some lie about Mahogany Underground being involved in something, and coming up, we have reunited a bird with its human. Ampharos is one of those Pokemon I could just come back to time and time again. I really do think it's one of the strongest early game Pokemon you will ever find in any Pokemon game, and it stands up to the test of time even today. Now this run's going to be a little bit different because we are giving it some egg moves, primarily so that we can get access to Thunderbolts well before the Pokémon League, because I think that's one of the things that was holding Ampharos back in the last runs we've done with it. Now if you do enjoy this run, please do make sure to like and subscribe, and now we'll look at the stats. We are level 5 with 25 HP, holding a berry with Tackle, Growl, Thundershock and Thunder Wave, but they will change. And now for our stats, we've got 14 in attack, 13 in defense, 18 in special attack, 15 in special defense and 12 in speed. Today we're bringing back our egg move challenges. It's been a little while since we've ran one, so I will take you through exactly how the egg move challenges do work here on this channel. We're running Ampharos today, and Ampharos is one of those Pokemon I could come back to time and time again. It genuinely is such a good Pokemon. Now here on the top floor of the Pokemon Center in the Challenge Run patch, we get a egg move tutor. And from here, we can use it like any other move tutor in the game, and we are able to replace some moves. So we're going to be learning 2 moves for Ampharos in this run. We're going to be learning both Body Slam and Thunderbolt. Now in the Challenge Run patch there is an option to set these tutors to appear on the second floor of every Pokemon Center, and you can use them up to 4 times by standard, but there is an option to remove that cap as well. And one change we have made to our egg move runs is we are allowing ourselves to start at the very end of an evolutionary line now, to give ourselves the best chance at the best possible time. Now I've not been playing so great lately, so it is a pleasure to be able to play with Ampharos. At the moment I've lacked a little bit of confidence with my running, I've got to be honest. I've had a couple of disaster zone runs that haven't made it to air, and it just knocks your confidence back a little bit. So hopefully throughout the course of this challenge, with a Pokemon that is such a pleasure to work with like Ampharos, I'll be able to regain the confidence and we'll be able to get a very good time. And we're going to go into Rival 1 now, and hopefully this will be a fairly trivial affair. It stands to reason that the Rival is going to have the Chikorita line for this run. Grass does of course resist Electric, so it makes the most sense. We don't have anything that can give us a type weakness for the Rival, but the Rival can of course resist our stab moves. And now we didn't do the loop-de-loop there. My movement has gone terrible lately, honestly, but we could do with a little bit of extra experience in the early game anyway. Let's name the Rival triple question mark now, as we always do. We'll have a little chat with Elm, and honestly I think the first gym is going to be an absolute breeze. So we'll get out of here and we'll make our way into Violet, where Falkner will be dreading our arrival. And it's into the first gym we go, where we're going to take on Falkner. He is of course a flying type specialist with a bit of a penchant for Mud Slap, so we'd better make sure we don't get hit by any Mud Slaps, and we get through this gym battle in 2 one-shots. Goodness me, Ampharos, what a very good start there. Zephyr Badge in 4 minutes and 15 seconds. We get our own version of Mud Slap, which we cannot learn, but we can sell for a bit of money later on. And with that, we can make our way into Violet City's Pokemon Center. I don't think we've ever had quite as easy a Falkner battle as we did there. Hopefully that is a sign of very good things to come for our Ampharos. I think our main issue is going to be speed throughout the course of this one. We don't have the best speed stat in the world. We've only got 55, and combine that with our experience group, we are going to be struggling, especially when it comes to Red, to try and outspeed some of his more dangerous Pokemon. So we're going to have to take the good times while they last here in the early game. I'll start making my way through the Union Cave now, and we'll meet back up on the other side and catch Kenya. And now we are out of the other end of the Union Cave. We shall pause the timer, and we shall catch Kenya, our Spearow. By the way, on the way through Union Cave, I beat up a couple of fishermen over on the route before it, and then I took on the Coughing guy in Union Cave. They seem to be the best trainers to get some early game experience, and now that Kenya is caught, we shall make our way into the forest to catch our next 2. And in the forest we are of course going to be looking for both Psyduck and Paras. Psyduck will be helping us out with Surf, Strength, Whirlpool and Waterfall, and then Paras will be helping us out with Dig, Rock Smash and Cut. So there is Psyduck, and now we catch Paras. And it's days like today where I am very glad the timer is paused, because goodness me, that Psyduck took a very long time to find. But now that we've got both of our HM friends, we shall leave and we'll go into Bugsy's gym. And with that, with most of the gym trainers beaten up, it's time for Bugsy. He is our second gym leader together, a bug-type specialist who led with Metapod that's gone down. Kakuna's going to go the same way, and then I think it might even be a one-shot on the Scyther as well. Look at that, 2 gyms, 2 sets of one-shots, Hive Badge in 8 minutes and 46 seconds. We can't celebrate for too long though, we have the dreaded Rival 2 just around the corner. And we're not going to be able to have any kind of stab against his ace Pokemon, because of course it will be resisted. So, in fact, why don't we give it a go? We've been poisoned, that's fine, we crit, we can have stab, there's nothing stopping us at the moment. We will get through triple question mark, and we can make our way into the forest. We have reunited a bird with its human. We have got ourselves the Cut TM, and we shall teach that right away now to our Paras. We will stick on another Repel, and we'll go and get ourselves Headbutt. Even though we don't have the best speed in the world, Headbutt is still a very good move, and I think we'll be running it in tandem with Body Slam, because we can make Pokemon go slower than us by paralysing them with Body Slam, and then we can flinch them with Headbutt. That is of course assuming they survive more than one hit. As we have seen very often in this run so far, most things go down in just a single shot, including that very pesky Kakuna that showed its face there because I dared to take a single step without a Repel. Now we've got the Ethers in the forest, we'll pause the timer once more, we'll deplete our Repel steps, and we shall go and get ourselves Abra. Now Abra's got just one job, teleporting us back to our most recent Pokemon Center, but the run would be a lot slower without the Abra. And with Abra caught, we'll unpause the timer and we'll head into Goldenrod. And now that we are in Goldenrod, we have already been up to National Park. We had a little chat with Floria. A very kind lady gave us a quick claw, and we also grabbed the Dig TM from the National Park. And with that, we can start thinking about our third gym together. There are a couple of bits I want to do here in the underground. First of all, I'm going to pick up the coin case in case we need some funny TM move shenanigans later on, and we're going to take on this trainer here as well, because this trainer is particularly pesky when you're doing the Goldenrod Underground as part of the Rockets. It is a very big PP sink, and we don't like big PP sinks. So with him taken care of, we'll dig out, and then it's just a very quick cycle over to Whitney's gym. Now, I don't think this is going to be a pair of one-shots like the last couple of gyms have been, but I reckon we should still be fine. We'll get rid of the Schnabbabubble first, and now we will take Whitney on. She is our third gym leader together in under 15 minutes. She is a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. Clefairy was always going to go down in one. We're on to the Miltank. We've paralysed it. We'll finish it off with Body Slam. Pretty good stuff. Overall, Ampharos is getting the luck so far. 5 minutes exactly for the Whitney split, 13:47 overall. Now, if you're wondering why there is a second discrepancy on our timer, that is just because of the way Live Split rounds up times. So we've probably hit a very close boundary. We get ourselves early return, and we are going to pick up one Fire Punch TM. Unfortunately, we cannot learn Ice Punch. Then we are going to teach Fire Punch straight away. We're going to get rid of Thunder Wave. We don't really have a use case for Thunder Wave, and that gives us a pair of special attacks to be running in tandem on our learn set. Now, there is one more thing that we should do in Goldenrod. Very quickly, we should do a very quick heal, because we're going to be going all the way to Olivine next. So I'll tell you what, I'll start cycling there, and we'll meet up in Olivine. And now here in Olivine, we're going to get ourselves some Super Repels. We'll get ourselves 9 today. Give us an extra little bit of buffer in case of some duff movements. We'll get Strength, and then we're going to set our teleport spot to Olivine City. We're going to be taking full advantage of crossing the map with Abra. And with that, we can now start ascending the Lighthouse. And at the top of the Lighthouse, we'll have a little chat with Jasmine. She's going to ask us to get some medicine. We will oblige because we want to complete this challenge run, and we'll get out of here. I'm very glad, you know, that there are a lot of water types in the Lighthouse. It makes sense with it being a coastal town, but that does mean being an electric type trainer today, I am a very, very happy person. Let's now get into the Burnt Tower, where we shall go and stick a repel on, and we will take on rival number 3. This time he is going to lead with his Haunter. He's evolved his Ghastly, but I think it's going to be the same outcome. We outspeed and we one-shot. Here comes Magnemite. We've got Fire Punch for the Magnemite, so it goes down in 1. Third up is going to be Bayleaf. We'll use Fire Punch. It's another one-shot, and then we might as well just Fire Punch the Zubat. What's it going to do? Scream at us. We get through Rival 3 very, very easily. We'll fall through the floor. We'll dig out. We'll take on Morty. Now we are going to hold on to the Minceberry for a teeny tiny bit of insurance here, because I'm not 100% sure we will outspeed Morty's Gengar rather. We'll be fine against the Ghastly and the Haunter. I'm just not 100% sure that he won't try and send us to sleep. Just like that, he did try, but he wasn't successful, so we get to hold on to the Minceberry for another day, and we will get through Morty with yet more one-shots. 20 minutes and 53 seconds. With that, we can take on the Kimono Girls. And now I've saved the, in quotes, hardest Kimono Girl till last, but even Umbreon's tankiness is no match for our Ampharos. We defeat them all in one-shots apiece, we get ourselves Surf, and now we can go towards the Lake of Rage. And now we have a move that is 4 times super effective against Gyarados, so it absolutely makes sense to take it on now. We'll use 1 Thunderbolt, we'll get rid of it straight away and grow up to level 34. We'll get the Red Scale, we'll have a little chat with Lance, and then we'll head towards the Hidden Powerhouse. And here at the very, very top of the Lake of Rage, we will get ourselves Hidden Power. We'll teach that fairly late on in the challenge today. We are running Hidden Power Ice, because unfortunately Ampharos does not learn Ice Punch, which is a little bit frustrating, but we shall make do with Hidden Power Ice instead for the Pokemon that need it, because there are going to be a couple of Pokemon throughout the course of this challenge which won't be suitable for our Fire Punch or our Thunderbolt rather. We'll now have a little chat with the man in the dodgy shop. I'll beat up the gym trainers and we'll take on Chuck. And with a very easy set of gym trainers out of the way, it is now time for Chuck himself. He is our 5th gym leader in 25 minutes, and he leads with Primeape. One shot on Primeape. You guessed it. One shot on Poliwrath as well. Level 36 acquired. This sheep is doing incredibly well so far. My confidence is coming back. At the same time, let's get ourselves Fly. I'll do a bit of housekeeping and we'll take on our next gym leader. We have the Charcoal and very high special attack, so I think it stands to reason that we could give Jazz a solid go at level 36. So we'll give the secret potion to her and we'll make our way into her gym and we'll take her on. She leads with Magnemite. Magnemite is incredibly good for using Fire Punch against. No special defense and it's super effective. And then we're probably going to 2-shot this Steelix. Not quite a one-shot, but she's not going to do anything at all. That was very close to a one-shot actually. I think if we'd have done her a little bit later, we would have got the one-shot, but we would be wasting time with movement there. Let's now get ourselves into Mahogany. I'll do the rockets, and it'll be time for Price. Believe it or not, the Electrode were actually the hardest Pokemon in all of that rocket section. We couldn't one-shot them. Everything else was a simple one-shot, much like this Jinx here in Price's gym. We're going to take on Border Douglas as well, because we've got Thunderbolt, he's got no special defense, and we could do with a bit of physical defense stat experience from the Shelter and Cloister line, quite honestly. Physical defense is one of our lower stats, and with that we will take on Price. He is our 7th gym leader today. He is an Ice type specialist, allegedly, who leads with Seal. We've got a super effective move against all of his Pokemon here, and we've got the Charcoal to guarantee the one-shot there on the Piloswine. And it's 3 one-shots again. How often am I going to say that in this run? We are through prize, Glacier Badge in 31 minutes and 51 seconds. Now, I'm going to make my way through the ice path. We'll go back to Goldenrod afterwards and we'll reconvene for rival number 4. And now we are ready for the 4th and penultimate rival battle. The start of the rocket section was very, very easy. And this time he's going to lead with Golbat. We'll get rid of that in one shot and we'll move on to Fire Punch for the Magnemite. We'll grow to level 43 as the Haunter comes out. We'll use Thunderbolt, guarantee the one shot. Probably didn't need to use Thunderbolt there. We'll Thunderbolt against the Sneasel. That's one of the few Pokemon at the moment we are slow against. And now Hidden Power's actually more strong than Fire Punch at this stage because of Price's badge boost and we're holding the Never Melt Ice. So it might not have been a one shot with Fire Punch, but we definitely one shot with Hidden Power. And with that, there's even more bloomin' rockets to do, so I'll get through them and we'll go to Blackthorn for Claire. And with Claire's gym trainers being incredibly trivial, we can now take on Claire herself. She's a Dragon type specialist who leads with Dragonair. It goes down in 1, she tries again and we knock it out in 1 again. And she's going to send out a third because she hasn't learnt her lesson. All 3 go down in 1 shot, and now we're going to use a Hidden Power on the Kingdra. She didn't paralyse us with Dragon Breath. We'll finish it off with a Thunderbolt. And we get through Claire without healing looping. Let's now rush to the Dragon's Den to get her badge. And so we answer 11212 from the man in the Dragon's Den. That gets Claire to rush in, expecting us to have failed, but we have succeeded. And we get Claire's badge in 43 minutes and 22 seconds. 11:31 is one of our quickest Claire splits I can ever remember. AMPHAROS is doing incredibly well for itself. Let's get ourselves to the Pokémon League and we'll see how we get on there. There I was, having a nice time making my way to the Pokémon League, and this fella shows his face again. He's going to lead with Sneasel. This time we're going to get rid of it with a Thunderbolt. We'll grow to 50 and out comes Magneton. We've got Fire Punch for Magneton, it goes away. And here comes Haunter. We'll use Hidden Power because that's what the cursor was over when I pressed the button. We'll Body Slam the Kadabra. And then up next is Meganium. We'll Fire Punch the Meganium. It goes down in 1 shot. And then the last Pokemon is Golbat. We'll use the Thunderbolts. We get rid of it. We say goodbye to the rival once and for all. And now we can get into the Pokemon League. We're going to buy ourselves just 4 full restores. And then we will go into the league, where our first league member is going to be Will. He is a Psychic type specialist who's going to lead with Xatu. And that's great for us because we've got Thunderbolts, so we get rid of it in 1. We grow to 51, and up second is Jinx. Now, Jinx is a little bit pesky. I'm going to use a Fire Punch, and we do knock it out. I wonder how close that was to being a range. We'll get rid of Executor using the same move. And then we'll swap back to Thunderbolts for the Slowbro. It goes down in 1. Here comes another Xatu. There goes another Xatu. And we say thank you, Will, for a very easy battle. 46 minutes and 37 seconds. Up second is going to be Koga. Now, Koga is a specialist of the Poison type who leads with Ariados. We'll get rid of Ariados in 1. And then here comes Fortress. We don't even need to use Fire Punch. We'll use a neutral Thunderbolt. And we'll continue using a Thunderbolt against the Venomoth. That brings us on to Muck. We don't have anything, I think, that can one-shot the Muck. So we will play for the Paralysis. It didn't happen. And instead we'll just hit it with another Thunderbolt. We don't outspeed the Crobat, but it doesn't matter because we knock it out in 1 and Toxic Mist. That was a very, very nice Koga. Now on to Bruno. Now Bruno has been pesky for the electric types in the past. We'll have to see how we get on this time. First thing to note is that we don't one-shot Hitmontop. That's not great, but it's not devastating. We've got Hidden Power Ice for the Onix, so we don't need to worry about that. Up next is going to be Hitmonlee. Once again, I don't think we're going to one-shot, and a double kick did a fair amount of damage. We've got Hitmonchan after that. Mach Punch gives us some guaranteed damage, and we're going to take 2 turns. 3 turns even, because Fire Punch didn't do as much as I thought. Goodness me. I wonder, do we do a Fire Punch and play for a burn? Or we can just get a cross-chop miss. We are out of the woods there at Bruno. That was a very sloppy Bruno fight, but we did get through first time. Let's get ourselves prepped for Karen now. We're going to use an Elixir. We'll use a full Restore. We're going to use all 5 rare candies. We don't care about wasting any levels here. We just don't want Karen to be a problem. We'll use the HP up as well. And finally, we will swap to a Bitter Berry. That means that if she goes for Confuse Ray, we will cure ourselves turn 1. Now, Karen could be tricky, I've got to be honest with you all. This one might be tough, but the HP up trick worked. That means our accuracy is not lowered, and suddenly this battle is very winnable first try. It's not guaranteed, but it is definitely winnable. We're through the Gengar, we've got the Houndoom next. I don't think we're going to win. We are going to one-shot, goodness me. We win. It's as simple as that. That was a lot nicer than I was expecting. 49 minutes on the nose for Karen. Let us take on Lance, the liar with the flyers. And I think this might be a little bit brutal for Lance here. We're going to start with Gyarados. We'll use Thunderbolt against it and we'll knock it out in 1. And then up next is going to be Dragonite's number 1. We'll use Hidden Power, we'll get rid of it straight away. We grow to 59. And here comes another one. There goes another one, courtesy of Hidden Power. And then we've got the third one. Goodness me. That just means we can go over to Thunderbolts. We might take a Rock Slide damage. But he goes for Ancient Power, doesn't get the Omni Boost. And now the battle is won. Because Charizard's got nothing for us. And we are through Lance in 49 minutes and 42 seconds. Sub 50 minutes Lance. I'm very, very happy with that. Let us get our final Hall of Fame time for our Ampharos Egg Move Challenge. And we're clocking in at 49 minutes and 59 seconds. Let's take a look at the midpoint leaderboards. And we are clocking in at 49 minutes and 42 seconds through the Hall of Fame. That is our second fastest egg move run to date. And if we have a look at the full leaderboard, you can see that we are in 6th place for all of our pre-recorded crystal runs. Don't forget though, this is only half of the story. It could still all change because there's still another 8 gym badges plus a red fight left to come. So don't you dare go anywhere because Kanto is next. And we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where we are about to go into our first Cantonian gym. We're starting off with Surge in this one, even though we're an electric type, because I think we are more than capable of getting through fairly easily. And I am more than pleased to announce, by the way, that we are taking our standard Cantonian routing here. So we're going to start at Surge, then we'll move over to Erica, down to Janine, then it's across to Sabrina, up to Misty, over to Brock, down to Blaine, and we will finish off with Blue. And now talking of Blue, if you do want to skip ahead to the Blue fight and miss a very fun Kanto chat, it is going to be starting at around about 25 minutes and 45 seconds. For everybody else, let's now sit back, relax and have our standard Cantonian chat. And now you may notice I'm sounding an awful lot different in this Kanto chat compared to how I was sounding throughout the course of this challenge. I didn't know it at the time, but I had caught that virus, you know the one I mean. The one that has been going around for the last 5.5 years or so. It really did knock me for 6, and I have not been able to get any work done for the channel for the last, call it 3 or 4 weeks actually. I got this run recorded at the very end of September, just as I was falling ill, and I managed to push through a couple more before my voice, and to be fair, the rest of me just completely conked out for a couple of weeks, and it wasn't particularly pleasant, but we're through the other side of it now, and we are making good progress towards yet more challenges. And you may have noticed we have a new style of challenge. The Supermon challenge is something that a very lovely commenter called Matthias came up with about 20 years ago apparently, and has suggested it to me. I took to it like a duck to water, and I am really having a lot of fun. It is taking away a lot of the limitations that we have with this classic style of challenge running, and it's giving a brand new puzzle to what is already a very fun challenge. Generation 2 will always be my favourite Gen to challenge run. There's something about having 16 badges that just makes the challenge feel that little bit more exciting. That's not to say I'm never going to challenge run in Generation 3 or Generation 1 again. I just think Gen 2 is always going to be my home. And thinking of Generation 3, around about 6 months ago I got started on making a challenge run patch for Pokémon Emerald. And while I've been ill, I've been able to make a fair amount of progress with it. I'm at a point now where you can set your starters, you can set your hidden power type, you can set your nature and you can set your ability. They are the main things for getting started in Pokemon Emerald. And one of the big things I didn't like about Challenge Run in Gen 3 in the past is that I would have to go through and manually go into PK Hex and interrupt the recording session every time I wanted to get a Pokemon. And you would never be able to do that first battle with your custom Pokemon. You would always have to deal with whatever RNG it threw at you, and then you would eventually get a Pokemon that you would like after you've done that first battle against the wild. But because it's done in Emerald, I can also then plonk it in Fire Red as well. So you never know, in the new year, if I've got a bit more energy, because those games are a lot higher energy to run, we might end up bringing some Generation 3 challenges back into the equation. And now let's hand back to the live run. And we have made it to Blue for yet another run. A very smooth ride to Blue as well. Let's see how we get on here. He does lead with Pidgeot. He uses Quick Attack, which is a little bit rude, but we'll get rid of it in one shot. He's going to send out his Rhydon next. We've got oodles of Special Attack, enough to knock it out in one hit as well. We'll use Thunderbolt against the Alakazam. We didn't get crit by Blue's Alakazam, unlike Sabrina's earlier on in the Kanto section. We'll use Fire Punch against the Executor. We'll knock that out in a single hit as well. And that brings us on to Arcanine. Now, we don't have anything great for the Arcanine. I want to try and avoid a healing loop here by going for a return first. We'll knock it out with Thunderbolt, and then we've got Thunderbolt for the Gyarados. That's going to be a simple one-shot. And that is Blue defeated in 102-30. Let us now move on to Silver Cave, where we've got one more battle ahead of us. And so we have made it in front of Red for another challenge. I doubt we're going to finish Resetless because Red will be tricky, but we'll see how we get on. He leads with Pikachu. We get Charmed, which isn't great, but there's not much we can do about it, unfortunately. We are at the mercy of Red here because we are much, much slower than him. Thunder has hit twice in a row, which is a little bit annoying, and we are on to Espeon. We use a Thunderbolt against the Espeon, and we get hit by a critical hit Psychic. That move is our Achilles heel today. I don't know what it is about Psychic. It seems to have ended up on the increased crit rates moves list for some reason. Hopefully it doesn't bother us too often. We're just going to go for Thunder against the Pikachu. We'll take the extra text boxes. Let's try against the Espeon now. We're going to keep going for Thunder because Thunder has the chance to paralyze, which will slow the opponents down. We don't have anything fantastic for Snorlax, however. This could be an issue. Now, I have held on to Dynamic Punch for the Snorlax, and I reckon, you know, we might need to teach it. I'm also going to do something a little bit strange here, and I'm going to teach Zap Cannon in place of probably Hidden Power now. Hidden Power has very much outstayed its welcome. We've got Fire Punch for the Venusaur, and that's going to do roughly the same job. We crit the Pikachu, which is fantastic. We're back onto the Espeon. We know we're going to take some damage here. It's just about how much damage we take. We're already in the yellow, which isn't great, but I do want to get some info on the Snorlax. Let us swap to the lefties. We're going to play around being slower, I think. If we can find the lefties in one of these bags, goodness me. Let's get rid of the Quick Claw. Let's try with the lefties, see if this makes any difference whatsoever. Unfortunately, if you're slow at Red, the chances are you're going to get a pretty rough time. We are just going to take being Charmed. It's not the worst in the world. We are mostly a special attacker anyway. Especially with Reflect being up as well. We do take a little bit of damage from Psychic, and our Spadef got dropped. Goodness me, we are losing all of the coin tosses here. And we lose Zap Cannon's coin toss, but we have paralysed the Snorlax at the very least. Let us try and confuse this thing. We're just not getting the luck at the moment. It's one of those battles. It could be on our first attempt, it could be on our 100th attempt. We just do not know with this Red battle, unfortunately. We did paralyse the Pikachu, which is kind of nice. We don't get a Spadef drop this time either, and we crit the Espeon. That means we're going to go straight into Dynamic Punch on the Snorlax. We're just hoping that one of these lands, and then if he hits himself in confusion, we will be good. He didn't, and our next Dynamic Punch has missed. He's gone to sleep. That's not great, and another dynamic punch misses. Snore has hit us, and we finally land another one. We do a lot of damage with a crit there, goodness me. We are on to Venusaur. We're going to use a Fire Punch. Sunny Day is not what we're looking for, really, unfortunately. Solar Beam hits us because we are slower than the Venusaur. And now we are on to the Charizard. I think it's all over. If that Sunny Day hadn't have happened, you know, I think we could have won it then. We're not getting paralysed by Pikachu. That's not a thing we're accepting. Unfortunately, with Ampharos, the lack of speed does eventually come to bite us in the bum. We did very well up until this point, so I think we can hold our heads high regardless of what happens now. Red's actually healing looping. I've not seen that in a while. Let's move on to the Espeon now. We are looking for paralysis on the Espeon, really. That's another critical hit. Psychic, I tell you what, it's been nasty today, hasn't it? Let's see, he's healing looping again. A crit would be nice here from our side. We aren't paralysed this time, where we can easily tank a Thunder. Is he going to go for Psychic? Yes, he is. No Spadef drop. We are looking for the paralysis, and it's just not happening. I think our best bet now is to try and confuse this Snorlax and hope that he hits himself in confusion. He does. That's great for us. That gives us an extra turn. I'm going to go for another Dynamic Punch. That's fine. We are looking to heal. We will knock it out, and we are back on to the Venusaur. Now, please, please, please do not use Sunny Day. Synthesis is great. Synthesis rather will not damage us. Blastoise is next. That's even better. Now, is he going to go for Rain Dance? I'm going to risk a Fire Punch. Rain Dance is brilliant. We can get rid of it with Thunderbolt. We had to play smart there. That means that the Zard cannot hit us very hard with Flamethrower, and we get the key to victory. Grow to level 70, and we defeat Red in 109.18. Let's take a look at the leaderboards. And so after a fairly rough Red fight, we did lose a little bit of time, but we are still in second place on the Egg Move leaderboard, just behind Golduck, and we are in 14th place overall, in between Typhlosion and one of our many, many Ursaring runs. But with that, we are done. So as the rest of the leaderboard plays out in the background, I will of course say thank you all so much for watching this one. I hope you've been able to put up with my very dodgy voice while I've been ill. If you have enjoyed this one, please do make sure to leave a like. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.